Greetings to the Lunar Manifesting Matrix. This is Elizabeth Schermer with an intuitive reading for the Lunar Matrix on Tuesday, July 17th. Today's reading for the coming week is in anticipation of tomorrow's new moon in Cancer, which occurs Wednesday, July 18th at 9:24 p.m. Pacific Time. The guidance in this reading covers your preparations for the new moon leading up and through the coming week, through the first quarter moon next week on Thursday, July 26th. The new moon each month always supports new birth and new beginnings. It gives us the opportunity to experience the inspiration of a fresh start and a new wave of manifesting potential. If you remember last week's reading, we're coming through a period of experiencing contrast. The work last week, the astrological chart last week talked about the old energies of what's falling away in contrast with the inspiration of the energies to come, and the tarot reading also helped us understand the choice we had last week of where we wanted to put our perspective. And I personally have to say I really experienced those opportunities last week. If I put my attention and perspective into energies of my old patterns, which are the patterns that are being dismantled, or old circumstances, or old ways of seeing my reality, those experiences were amplified, and I felt frustration, fatigue, just the old patterns of my overwhelmment, which are my patterns that get activated. If I remembered to use my tools and discipline and put my attention in the direction of inspiration in my life, the contrast was remarkable. And I know that this experience was true for many people who I spoke with last week and clients I worked with. So I went, the astrology chart for this week is an extension of this pattern from last week. So that's why I'm pointing this out, that in the context of what we're coming from, the coming week is a continuation of this practice of awareness of the contrast of the worlds. The dragon year energy is an energy of limitless potential. It's washing away the past. And the energies of the past are active because they're being released. It's easy to be confused when we feel them. And it's important to distinguish what is the past, what's associated with the past, and what's associated with the inspiration of what's to come. The tarot cards have been so supportive and clear, the synchronicity of the cards, and pointing out the new worlds that are being born and in which we are immersed at this very time. So the chart for the coming week expands on this theme of contrast by pointing out that we'll have a clear awareness of the old patterns, and the word failure specifically comes up. And so if you experience an awareness of old patterns that lead to failure, or if you feel failure and the fear of failure, realize that it's part of what's being activated and washed away, and you can hopefully feel hopeful about that when you catch it. The new moon's also initiating a wave of new potential, new awareness of new patterns and new cycles and new ways that we can align with our beliefs and new perspectives about reality and feel a deeper, larger sense of wholeness and connection. So with awareness of these potentials and asking for the highest and best and for guidance in our ability to meet them, I threw a 3-card spread for the week, Body, Mind, Spirit spread. And the first card I'm going to talk about today is the card all the way to the right in the position of Spirit, which is the 8 of Cups in this deck, called Indolence. And it refers to an experience of emotional fatigue. This is deep fatigue on an emotional level that also leads to feeling physically tired. Sometimes in the most extreme way, I call this the card of burnout, because it has to do with that deep sense of depletion. And I know that some of you are experiencing this because I've been hearing this in the last few days. There's a deep sense of fatigue. Well, this is in the position of Spirit. It's actually an affirmation of what we're speaking of and a supportive statement, because another aspect of this card is the indication of moving away from old beliefs and old values specifically. And so that experience of fatigue is because we are creating new relationships, to our own beliefs and values that will be supportive, and we have to release the old in order for that to happen. So, in moving into new emotional territory is the pattern that's being addressed here. And so we're creating new feelings and new ways of relating to our circumstances. And this takes life force. So it's understandable to be tired when we're engaged in this process of creating new worlds. Each of you listening to this reading is involved in planetary work as well as your own personal work. The two are completely intertwined. And in this dragon year, we're engaged in building new worlds, which is what the other two cards are talking about. The Ace of Discs in the position of body, we've seen several times recently, and it has to do with the building of new worlds, the creation of new forms. In the position of body, it's that experience of new manifestation coming into form. The card in the middle in the position of mind, the Wheel of Fortune, is the card of our experience of being on the wheel of life, the wheel of creation, the wheel of karma, the wheel of cause and effect, and has powerful teachings that we've been reminded of as a practice this year regularly. One of my favorite teachings from this card is the reminder that wherever I am on the wheel, that I can choose where to place myself on the wheel, and that will have a lot to do with my experience of change as it unfolds. If I'm way here on the outside of the wheel as it's spinning, life can seem very chaotic and I can become reactionary. And so I can experience huge cycles of ecstasy and agony and everything in between, as I'm spinning very fast and everything's moving very fast. But if I can move into the center of the wheel, to the position held by a master manifester, the position in the center is a place of calm and clear perspective, where you have the opportunity to see what's unfolding, but also hold your own clear center. And so this again is a reminder, this card today is a reminder that the world is unfolding, and we are being called to hold our awareness and to use our tools to maintain our inner calm. So with this clarity, I asked for an additional card for any extra information, and the card that came up is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords, called Peace, refers to peace of mind, and the importance right now in using our tools to anchor peace of mind, which was the message I received also from the Wheel of Fortune. So what I want to say now about the pattern of the cards today is that the Ace of Discs and the Wheel of Fortune and peace of mind, all three came up reversed, which pointed me to the Eight of Cups as the starting point for the reading. And so with that understanding of the level of fatigue we may be carrying, there's the possibility of experiencing what's unfolding in two different ways. And this is going back to the astrological chart as well. We can experience the manifestation and the Wheel of Fortune reversed, meaning we can feel stuck. The Ace of Discs reversed it can be an experience of being stuck, and the Wheel of Fortune reversed can be an experience of chaos. So that's possible, but when you remember that you're tired and that perhaps the calm mind isn't so available, that's only your perspective of the reality. The larger message of the Eight of Cups today is that when you're feeling tired, to realize that it's because you're moving into new emotional territory, and that the message is to take time off right now to renew and rejuvenate. So the message of summer is, the deepest message of summer is always the season of personal rejuvenation and personal inspiration, and especially so if we feel the need to recharge. So I'm going to go in now and ask if there are any other specific messages. That's the first one. When you feel tired, if you feel overwhelmed, or if you're feeling stuck or reactionary to circumstances, take time to recharge. When you're ready to enter into the manifestation of the Ace of Discs, do so. You can do so in the simplest of ways. Just look for any aspects in your circumstances that feel inspiring and enter them with the feeling of inspiration. And you will be participating in the unfolding of the manifesting. You don't need to know the big picture. You only need to participate from your feeling place with creativity and inspiration and confidence and trust. And for the Wheel of Fortune, the guides are saying, are repeating what I said earlier, to do your best to move to the place of calm, inner calm. Find the inner calm. Pull away from old patterns of reaction to circumstances, perceiving yourself as being isolated and needing to shoulder responsibility on your own, or old habits of feeling a victim. Any of those old habits aren't serving you. If you feel the feeling of failure, realize it's an activation of the old fields. And so now, as I'm concluding, I'm looking again at the Eight of Cups and asking if there's any more information to help us with this circumstance of feeling tired and burned out right now, if that's happening for you. And the card, the extra card, is it's the Five of Swords, defeat. So this is defeat in the mind. It's the fear of things not working out. It's the feeling of defeat. So the response here is very clear, that when we look in and amplify circumstances from a place of fatigue, this week it will lead to that feeling of defeat. And that specifically was indicated in the chart, which said that there's awareness of old patterns that have failed, that will fail us now, that don't work anymore. So if you feel failure, you can again feel reassured actually by that, if you can realize it's an old pattern that you're immersed in, and that's why you feel like it's failing, because it doesn't work anymore. It's part of the past. And you're being called to new realms and new worlds and new amazing, amazing creations in which we all get to participate together. So from that place, I would like to ask that end the session today with the highest wishes for blessings and intentions for the best for all of you. Remember again that this experience of contrast is an overriding theme of the year, specifically because the energies of this immense water dragon are washing away the past and carrying us forward into new realms and new worlds. The new moon this week will help us each experience a fresh start and a new wave of inspiration on our journey. Remember, the new moon is at 9:24 Wednesday evening, July 18th. The most potent time to set your new moon intentions, if you're seeing this video in advance of that, is in the hours leading up to the new moon. And at the moment when the sun and moon come conjunct, the new wave of energy is released and your intentions are carried with it. If you're seeing this video after that time, then just realize that you're being carried on the wave, and whenever you set your intentions with clarity and with the deep feeling, they are activated into the larger grids of light. I send many blessings and wish each of you a happy new moon and a wonderful week. I look forward to connecting with you again next week on our journey. This is Elizabeth Schermer with the Lunar Manifesting Matrix.